Do you have to spend a lot of money in order to have a decent guitar nowadays? No. It's not like what it used to be. 40 years ago, 50 years ago, like when I was growing up, 50 years ago. Around 50 years ago, that's when I started getting into it. Well, a little bit more, but you didn't have the competition that we have nowadays. We had competition. It was dominated, and as it still is today, by the big brand names such as Fender, Gibson, Guild, Gretsch. Back in my day, I remember when the new kids on the block were like Kramer, Charvel, what else? What other? I remember the days of Carvin, and I thought it was a great time at that time to be a guitar player. Jump ahead 50 years, and I'd say we are in this epic era of guitars being available for beginners, for intermediates, for even pros, at a price that doesn't necessarily have to break the bank. Or, for instance, at least having, say, a backup guitar for the pros that you wouldn't mind, or at least it doesn't hurt you as much if it gets stolen, damaged, lost in transit. So there's a benefit to the improvements that have been done over time, decades, and the costs that are involved in it is not solely now exclusive to the bigwigs. Now, granted, having a big old bigwig name on the headstock is a good thing. It's a good thing if you can afford it, and it's a good thing if you appreciate what it's giving you. Some people have gotten into these affordably priced, well-manufactured guitars for various reasons. One reason may be because maybe this is a beginner, or you're in your beginning stage of learning to play, or maybe for financial reasons, it's more appropriate within your budget. Now, for me, I spent way more on guitars 30, 40 years ago, and even 20 years ago, than I do in the last 3 years. And that being because, well, just like you've seen me in some of my other videos, I have been enamored, and I am a fanboy of Harley Benton guitars, okay? And I feel no shame. I have no shame for it. Why? Because my hand can't tell the difference, except for one thing. It likes what it feels. And more importantly, I like what it does for me. So maybe part of the charge in all of this is that maybe the extra bonus is that, say I'm picking up a Harley Benton TE-52, and I'm just being wowed by the effect that this costs, that particular model will cost, say, less than a tenth of the price of a Fender. Or the same thing with the Harley Benton SE-550. Oh my God, a monster of a guitar. What a monster for the price, and then it's for sub 300, right? And so it's basically 10 times less the price of a Gibson Les Paul. And with that being said, am I losing anything from it? Like, does it come short in any way whatsoever to how I want to connect with a guitar? Hell no. In fact, it contributes. And how does it do that? As I mentioned before, you kind of get a little bonus benefit in the fact that you're doing this with a guitar that costs a fraction of the cost of those elitist guitars, which gives you then a lot more room to expand on that joy, whatever joy that you're feeling now at that point. Now, this is this is not about making other guitars, or like the guitars that cost $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a piece, devalued in any sort. What I'm bringing to focus is not the guitar, but the person behind the guitar. So the question is, what are you willing to invest to acquire that feeling? Now, it's not really a monetary thing. The answer to this of investment is to actually use your time to find out what it is you're looking for in terms of feel, in terms of sound. Hell, you can alter the sound with anything. Basically you change the pickups, you've altered the sound. You may change the strings, and you might slightly alter the feeling and the energy required to put into the guitar. You can change the color if you needed to, but you can't change the feel of what the guitar is going to feel like, unless there are some ways you can change that. And I'll address that in other parts, so maybe a little further down the line here on this video, because it has happened to me where a guitar that was a good guitar and felt good in the hand felt even better by just changing something cosmetically. And how is that possible? Because it's not what it looks like, sounds like. It's more about what it feels like. But more importantly, it's more about how it makes you feel. Like, for instance, I recently just changed the pickguard on this Harley Benton SC450. It's a guitar around the $200 range. Can you believe that? It's like a single cutaway, with two humbuckers, and it's an amazing guitar for the price, or for any price actually. It's just a good guitar, period. You don't need a fancy guitar to make yourself sound good. You do need to play better in order to sound better, but it's just a good feeling guitar. But it's like when I first got the Harley Benton 550. Now that is basically an amped up version. Actually, it's not the same version of a guitar, because the Harley Benton 450 is definitely a different shape from the Harley Benton 550. The 550 is a smaller body, smaller everything, and you'll notice that if you get to feel it and you hold it in your hand, and you possibly can see it in pictures and you can see for yourself. But what I wanted to get to is that when the 550 arrived, it kind of upstaged the 450. So naturally I was playing that 550 and then just being completely wowed every time I picked it up. And then, out of curiosity, I wanted to see if I can just, what else can I do with this 450 to see if it can compete with the 550? And all I did was I took the cream pickguard off and I replaced it with a black pickguard, so on that honeyburst. And it may not be for you, your liking, your aesthetic, but for me, it changed the whole look of the guitar. Now, the feel of the guitar was always how it felt before, and I liked it. It did have a chunkier neck as opposed to the 550, which is a slim taper neck, more like a 60s neck. But the 450 Honeyburst, suddenly I got a whole new liking to it. And it's like, I wound up this week playing that way more, and I had it on a few other recordings. And I was invited to do a recording to do on someone's demo. And the guitar I brought was the Harley Benton 450. And yet, it's like a $200 guitar. I could have brought my Gibson, or I could have brought the SE 550, which, you know, Tesla pickups, stainless steel frets, just the works on it, right? But instead, I brought the 450, and I got everything I needed to get out of it on that day doing the recording. The client was happy, thrilled. In fact, I made a bigger tip than what I was actually charging. But point is, with a slight understanding and being open to what a guitar can do for you, I expanded on that. And for me, it was just changing the pickguard. Now, it's funny because it's like a motorcyclist with his fancy motorcycle, like a gorgeous motorcycle with all the work's done, you know. Other than feeling the motor, the motor rumbling and vibrating underneath you, you really don't know what it really looks like because you're sitting on it. It's everyone else that gets to see it. Same thing with a guitar, you know. If you're playing it, yeah, you really don't really see a guitar. You're playing it. Everyone else gets to see the guitar you're playing. So, you know, with the 450, just putting it up on the wall next to the 550, there are two beautiful guitars now, I see. But just the difference of just changing that pickguard changed my perspective of how I feel about it. Now I'm picking up the guitar a lot more often. And it was just a pickguard, right? It's not contributing to the sound. It doesn't contribute to the feel because, you know, the way it felt before is the same way it feels with the black pickguard. But it did contribute to how it makes me feel. It's kind of like knowing I did something different to elevate it. And it's for me, not for everyone else to figure out and try to evaluate whether or not this guitar is the right guitar or whether it's a good guitar and it sounds good. It's me and how it makes me feel. And that goes for just about every guitar. It doesn't matter now what the name on the headstock is, see? You know, there's enough snobs around, too many snobs, about what makes a real guitar, or like origins of where it's built from, you know, like the only good guitar is a guitar made in the U.S. Bullshit. Bullshit with a capital B. And if you think that's like not bullshit, it's completely asinine with a capital A then. One more thing. Don't let any channel be the channel that guides you. Remember, it's your decision to choose which channel you're listening to. It doesn't have to be mine. It doesn't even have to be a channel. I'm talking about the people who you have chosen to influence you. That is your choice. So basically what I'm saying is everything is your choice. Your choice is to believe or not to believe. Your choice is to follow or unfollow, to share or unshare, to give respect or show a lack of respect. Age before wisdom. I heard that from an old lady. Actually, yeah. Let's just stop it there. Yeah, so age before wisdom. Never thought I'd say that. Former punk rocker, now I'm telling you, age before wisdom. Some punk rocker I turned out to be. Alrighty, folks. Yeah, keep the light on when everything else is dark and the whole world seems like it's crumbling. And it could be that it is crumbling. And if it is, put on a good light show. Don't hurt anyone. Be careful. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt others. Spread more happiness. Become a light. If not for others, be a light for yourself. Be the light. See you the next time I get all choked up. Alrighty, folks. I believe in you. Ciao. Bye.